Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson.
Hello, legal-minded friends. It's Karen Cole here, and today we're going to look at the sentencing hearing for Donna Adelson, and we are going to review it from the trial channel. You know how I like to introduce you to new creators. They have playlists with lots of different trials on there. And the beauty of this channel is that they take out uncomfortable pauses, and the sound quality is amazing. So yeah, check them out and give them a subscribe. They are certainly putting in the effort. So let's get started. I thought Darrell Brooks was a bit strange in court, but again, he didn't have an attorney. If you're not familiar with the Darrell Brooks trial, you've got to check out my video. He was so disrespectful to the judge, and she kept her cool. He was disrespectful to the prosecutors, and wow, that was a real spectacle to watch. He was disrespectful to the witnesses, to the victims. It was something else. And when I was listening to Donna Adelson in her sentencing hearing and the unsworn statements that she was making, I thought to myself, what is going on? She has attorneys. Is she not listening to them? Did they not tell her what to say to mitigate her circumstances? So the judge goes a bit lenient, is a bit lenient with her, where they can be, because obviously she was going to get life. So I thought to myself, you know what? I got to do some research on this. And when I did the research, I found out their purpose. So I do want to share that with you. And I may put some notes on the screen. I just want to let you know that so that you know they're not the trial channel's notes. They play the full hearing uninterrupted. And not to worry, I'm not going to play the full hearing. I'm only going to play a couple of clips so that, it kind of gets us into, the mood so that we can talk about this. And I'm hoping after, if you did have the same reaction that I had when I first listened to the devastating unsworn statements that were made by Donna Adelson, I was like, what's going on? So, I had the same view as the judge. Oh boy, you're probably thinking, what is going on? I don't even know. I don't have a clue what Karen is talking about. So I think I better play a clip now.
We don't have any further witnesses, Judge, but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if you wish to speak.
Judge, case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing. Court Rule 3.720B states the court shall not entertain submissions of evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence. A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case, as the defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement. This is exactly.
Please give a citation.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. First is Smith v. State, 268, Southern 3rd, 831, from the first DCA in 2019. You want me to continue, Your Honor?
Give me one moment.
Yes, sir.
Bring up my last along. Give the citation again.
Sure. It's 268, Southern 3rd, 831.
Which pinpoint site are you referring to in the case?
Let's see. So, Your Honor, I'm going to give you this one. It's Hill v. State, 246, Southern 3rd, 392. It's from the 4th District Court of Appeal.
One moment.
Yes, sir.
246 of the third is the last part.
392.
Well, seeing in the case where it does state the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Donna Adelson had several character witnesses. They all said nice things about her, said they knew her from a long time ago. And they couldn't believe she could ever do something like be a part of a conspiracy to, unalive her son-in-law. Another witness that spoke for her was her husband, Harvey. He spoke of their 54-year marriage, and he did not accept the verdict. He called out witnesses for lying, saying they were misleading the court. Here, let me just play you a bit of what he did say.
So, into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mine. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie.
Oh boy, sorry I cut that off. He was about to say, I didn't know you could lie to the court. So, yeah, I think he didn't accept some of the testimony. I thought it was a shame. He goes on to talk about the Markells. That was his ex-son-in-law's parents, and he thought they had lied to the court. They didn't actually testify, so it was stuff that the prosecutor was saying, and I thought it was pretty much verified by Wendy Adelson. So I don't know what her dad was trying to say there when he was complaining about the Markells lying. So the other thing I want to say is that there were people who I did think were lying, like Katie McBenoit. However, that would have been a better person to say if he really did want to say something that you can evidence. Eventually, he goes on to say that the court's bias, and the judge had to finally say something, and the defense attorney stepped in, looked at the rest of his sworn testimony that he had written out, and let him know what he could say. He didn't say much after that, and what he said, he didn't really help. That's what people do. They kind of focus on what they want to say instead of what's best to say. Anyway, his loyalty to Donna, his wife, was evident, and at 81 years old, I thought he spoke with confidence, and he also spoke with disdain regarding his views of the justice system. Is it worth watching? I sure do think it is. And let me know what you think if you did watch it. Now, let's go to the clip that I just played so we can talk about what an unsworn statement is all about.
Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if you wish to speak. Judge, case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing. States the court shall not entertain submissions of evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence. A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case, as the defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement. This is a capital.
Please give a citation.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to give you this one. It's Hill v. State, 246, Southern 3rd, 392. For the 4th District Court of Appeal?
1 moment.
Yes, sir.
246 of the third is the last part.
392.
Well, seeing in the case where it does state the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
Let me stop there and explain. So the judge conceded, meaning he agreed, there was case law allowing the defendant to give an unsworn statement at their sentencing hearing. What I found interesting is that in England and Wales, it is a right of the accused as part of the Criminal Justice Act 1982. So we don't need to rely on case law. It is an option under the criminal justice procedure. What was abolished over here across the pond was the right of the accused to make unsworn statement when giving evidence on oath. They need to be under an oath so that they can be challenged by cross-examination, making them liable for their statements. And of course, there's always exceptions, like when the accused does not have legal representation. This is allowed so that they can address the court or jury. Another exception is if the accused wants to give a statement by way of mitigation before the court passes sentence upon them. So it is similar to what Donna Adelson's attorneys were arguing for. I have never seen it used in a case, have you? Now let me play a segment of Donna Adelson's unsworn statement to the court that I thought was pretty particularly disturbing. Then I will explain the purpose.
It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder. In both of Catherine Magbanaway's trials, the state claims she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder. I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed. Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson.
Okay, I had to stop it there because I think we got enough for the purpose of the conversation that I want to have with you. And, you can watch the full hearing on the trial channel or wherever you like to watch your trial hearings, because I only played a segment to illustrate the purpose of an unsworn statement. So I found what Donna Adelson said in her unsworn statement curious, as this was a great debate in UK Parliament, and like I mentioned, it is similar to that in the United States. An unsworn statement can be made by way of mitigation before the court passes sentence. Reasons would be to not be cross-examined, for example. The idea is to dispute witness testimony and evidence in favor of the court looking at it in a way that mitigates, in other words, to reduce or minimize what was testified to or evidenced in trial. It's not to relitigate. It is only for the purpose of sentencing for sentencing. So the person has an opportunity to say what they want to say without fear of being challenged by the prosecutor. And when I said there was a great debate over here across the pond before laws were changed, there was really a debate, and members of Parliament had some convincing arguments for and against changing the laws so that there wouldn't be unsworn statements. So they kind of split the baby, and that's why we have the laws we have. I will link it for anyone that is interested, but one concern that is that it would be abused to slander authority and witnesses. That is why it is only allowed prior to sentencing for mitigation. The idea is that when a defendant really believes that they are innocent, they can plead with the court using their own persuasion. Now I want to pick up where the judge stopped Donna Adelson. Watch her frustration on her face as the judge is giving her a hint that he is not being persuaded. He tells her what he wants to hear. See if you can pick it up.
Danny killed. Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Adelson an opportunity to be heard.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please proceed if you desire to do so.
Now, when you listen to the unsworn statement that Donna Adelson made to the judge, it might make more sense. And it is, of course, up to the judge's discretion as to the weight that he gives her statement for mitigation. I don't want to play it all, as I want you to listen to it with knowing the purpose of it. So, did you guess what the judge wanted to hear from Donna Adelson? Can you guess? Remorse. In my opinion, it is difficult for an accused defendant to show remorse when they believe they are innocent of any criminal offense they were charged with. Donna Adelson could not see how her actions convinced a jury. In her mind, her hatred for her ex-son-in-law was in the past. She was sorry he was hunted down and killed, and that he is no longer, with us. The loss for his children, his family, and everyone that knew him is a great loss, but she had nothing to do with it. And from what I heard, she is a victim and will appeal her sentence. Click the link in the description area below to find out what the prosecutor's request for sentencing was compared to what the judge decided. Judge Everett, in my opinion, was fair. At times I could see how the defense thought he was challenging them more. Well, maybe slightly more than he was challenging the prosecutors. But in a lot of ways, I think he was trying to help them. However, the circumstantial evidence or coincidences, that's what I like to call them, and I did a video on that, were going to be hard for any defense attorney to overcome. And the defense attorneys in this case at times did look unprepared during the trial. The judge even mentioned to the prosecutor when she was looking for filings, was this their fourth or fifth trial? The prosecutor said fourth. Many people believe there will be or should be a fifth trial in this conspiracy to kill Dan Markel. After Harvey Adelson's statement, what do you think? Should he be the next one? Or is the ex-wife Wendy Adelson next? What's your thoughts? By leaving a comment, you may help someone else that will read your comment. And of course, I love to read all comments as they are valued, and together we can be more informed. And this information may help you or someone you know. In the meantime, on this channel, you'll find a variety of playlists to suit every curiosity about the justice system. And we provide you with a visual to information and the process. Going through a legal worry is devastating, and the Who Knew and Why Me playlists are designed to help you or someone you know. So please like this video if you like this kind of content. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified when I'm going live or upload another video. I'm Karen Cole from Legal Minded Friends. Information is power, meaning if you know something, you can make decisions that are right for you.